Hey guys, Alex from 7th Hour Films back again with Frieren. Last time around we had Privilege of the Young, where basically Stark seemed to have forgotten Fern's birthday, but in reality he just wanted to go shopping with her and have her pick out something in basically the same thing they did for his birthday, but Fern didn't take it so well at first, but eventually she came around, and then what else? It's been 2 weeks, so I can't remember now. What was the second half of the story? Oh, it was, they were traveling with a merchant, hitching a ride with a merchant. They got caught by a monster, and after defeating it, barely, they searched for the ring that Himmel had given Frieren years ago. And they eventually found it, and they realized that in the language of flowers, it means eternal love. So, yeah. So that was good. That's what it was. It has been 2 weeks since the last episode. It was kind of a last-minute decision, actually. I wasn't originally going to have a break between episodes, but it was Thanksgiving, and I just decided, you know what, I need the friggin' break, so that's why we took the half week. Of course, if you're watching this in the playlist, you don't care. Obviously, you're just going from one episode to the next, so it doesn't matter. So, but for the people watching this live, I think in 3 weeks we're going to be taking another break, because that'll be for Christmas, and then we'll be back again. And then we'll pretty much be good until, like, the summer, so... which will probably just take us through the end of the season, so yeah, that is pretty much that. Like always, the reaction is down in the description and in the pinned comment for your viewing pleasure. So let's go ahead and jump right into this episode of Frieren. Here we go. Well, that was lovely, if a little concerning for a bit. Oh, boy. Lovely dance. They're getting there. It's so funny that pretty much since we've introduced Zine, they're just like, you know what? Time to get Stark and Fern a little closer. It's great. You know what else is great? It's a whole... and this is probably gonna sound stupid. It's nice to, like... to not be jealous. Because it's like, look, Fern is great. Fern is really lovely. Fern is probably top tier waifu, I'm gonna admit. But Stark is such a good boy that I'm like, you know what? That's alright. I don't need to fucking imagine myself there. It's like, you know what? Good luck. Good luck with that. I don't know, because there's I feel like there's 20,000 other shows where it's just like, oh, here's this great waifu. Oh, but we're pairing them with this person. I'm just like, man, fuck that guy. I don't care about that guy. But it's like, no, Stark is great. Stark's a great guy. And I like the relationship the two of them are building, you know? So, a lot of stuff. Another double episode, essentially. We had the whole thing with the cursed town, which was interesting. Basically just getting to the point of Zine basically needing to trust them, you know? Which makes sense having a story like that, because it's like he is so new, you know? He's so new to the group, you know? Frieren and Fern have known each other for a long time. Well, long time to Fern. Technically not a long time to Frieren, but you know what I mean. And, you know, Stark has been with them for about a year. But Zine is the new guy, so I like this episode of, like, putting trust in each other, you know? Like, Frieren did trust him to wake her up, and it was in that moment he trusted her to finish the job, so that worked out. And yeah, we also got a bit more, I guess, explanation of a priest's job, which was pretty cool. Because that has been the thing I've been wondering the most in this show, is what does a priest do? And this episode definitely goes over all of that they have such a resistance to curses, which is interesting. You know, a curse being a mystery, being out of the realm of, out of the understanding, the realm of understanding of humans and human magic. Even Frieren, like, she would have probably figured it out eventually, and she could understand it once it was told to her, but Zine, this was all his specialty, being a priest. So priests have a resistance to curses and have the ways of getting around it, basically, which was good. So that was good. I did enjoy that, and like seeing the role of the clergy, and also the whole thing of like the goddess's blessing, which is a very specific form of magic that most mages just don't deal with. Like, it's a very specific style of magic, and one that you kind of have to have an aptitude for, which is interesting. I mean, it's like, you almost wonder, it's like, well, could, like, I don't know, I guess anyone if you have that aptitude, I guess it makes sense that you would become a priest, but could you also just be a normal mage, I wonder, I mean, that's basically, because, like, I don't know, because there's also the thing of, like, in my mind, it's like, well, if I'm just born with this aptitude for this holy magic, it's like, well, but what if I don't want to do that? What if I don't want to be a priest? But even still, it's like, being a priest, because in my mind, that means a very specific, strict kind of upbringing. But that clearly doesn't seem to be what Zine is about, And I mean, we saw Hyder, the corrupt priest. I mean, maybe it is a thing of like, well, they talk about that, the corrupt priests, like Hyder, like Zine, who, they'll sell smoke, they'll drink, they'll go after women, I guess, in the case of Zine, but they get the job done. So they get the job done, and let's be fair, they're not hurting anybody, and that can't be said about all priests in our world. So honestly, the two of them are fine, I guess it's like the difference between like like when you see like in an 80s movie, like the unorthodox cop and the by the book cop. Is that just Lethal Weapon? I guess. I don't know why I'm making a Lethal Weapon reference, I guess, but it's kind of like that of like, you have the orthodox, by the book kind of cop, and then the unorthodox cop, but they still both complete the same job, They still both do the same thing, so yeah. So that was interesting. And then yeah, just in that 5 seconds Frieren was able to understand everything about this monster and kill it in 5 seconds, But that's the thing. He trusted her to do that, He trusted her to do that. She said, I promise I will defeat this, That wasn't just, her mind drifting off to sleep. She was legitimately saying, hey, wake me up. I will deal with this when you find it, So that was good. I like that. And then yeah, the story of this town and Lord Ordell, I think that was it, Lord Ordell, and his dead son. It's an interesting thing because it's like, it's like, well, to improve morale, and I understand that, I understand that because it's like, that would be a blow to the people. That would be a blow to the people that, you're pretty much the great hero of your city is gone, and there's not like another hope, like, yes, he had a little brother, but it's a little brother, it's not just a younger brother, so he's not ready to be a warrior yet, so I get it. On the other hand, I do think you could make him a martyr. And then, it wouldn't, like, maybe that would improve. Like, everybody would see the death of, this unfortunate, see the death of this hero, basically. He died saving the kingdom, saving the city from these demons. And that maybe inspires them. So, I don't know. It's an interesting thing. But I could also see probably the other thing that they didn't really talk about is if he announced that his son was dead, it could also be something for his enemies, the other towns to be like, well, we can take advantage of this. So I get it. It's a thing of like, I understand why he did this, but you could have gone a different way that didn't include forcing Stark to do this for 3 months, So, but still, at least he wasn't alone. At least he wasn't alone, because Fern went through a month of etiquette training too, which was not easy for her either, trying to wear these corsets and stuff. But what they got out of it was a very lovely dance, which was nice. I mean, and that was great. He looked freaking handsome. She looked beautiful. It was great. So, it's at least something, So yeah, and I like that. I like it too because it's like with Lord Ordle. It's like, it's interesting because it's like you expect him, when they're talking about his other son, it's like, oh, he doesn't have a good relationship, because it harkens back to Stark's father, but it's not. It's not that at all. It's just he's worried. He's concerned about everything, especially after losing his first son, So it's just like, no, he does believe that his second son will, rise and be a great warrior, better than he ever was. But it is something that he's kind of like, he is still worried about everything right now. So, and I apparently spit on my notebook. It's always great. So yeah, really, really interesting stuff. Very interesting. And we got a lovely dance with Stark and Fern to get them a little closer together. I'm enjoying it. I'm really enjoying this. So yeah, that is basically it. With all of that being said, I'm Alex from 7th Hour Films, and I will see you guys next time. Take care. Alright guys, thanks for watching this video. There's a bunch of links on screen if you want to go click around to any of those. There's a playlist with all of my Frieren reactions, as well as another video you can go click on if you want. There's also a subscribe button and a Patreon button on screen, as well as other links in the description if you want to go check out any of those. See you guys later.